Hello everyone and welcome to ESGI's Celebrity Webinar Series. Today's topic is Happies for Teachers, Back to School with Dr. Jean Feldman. I'm Rochelle and I'm excited to be your host for today's webinar featuring the one and only Dr. Jean. Hi Dr. Jean.
Hi.
We'll get started with Dr. Jean's presentation in just a moment, but first we have a few housekeeping details for you. For better audio and video quality, close all other applications or tabs you might have open. If you are having any audio or video issues, try refreshing or changing your browser. Today we'll be using the question feature that is located on the side of your screen. Type something in the question box now to test it out. Perhaps tell us where you're from. It looks like we have people joining us from all over. Thank you very much for coming tonight to listen to Dr. Jean. As you see, Dr. Jean will be on her webcam for this entire webinar. If you see her but you want to make the screen bigger, click on the box and choose full size or drag the corners to make it bigger. For attending live today, you will receive Dr. Jean and Carolyn Kisloski's Back to School Happies packet. This is for the first 1,000 people who are on the call now and who are participating in the live event. You will also receive a certificate of attendance for attending live today, and it will be emailed to you within a week, so check your inbox. You'll see an example right here. Also, we have prizes. We will be giving away 5 one-year licenses to ESGI at the very end of the broadcast. You must be with us for the entire time to be eligible. Of course, everyone will receive that packet from Dr. Jean and Carolyn Kisloski for the Back to School Happies. We at ESGI are thrilled that so many of you have registered to learn with Dr. Jean today. Thanks for all you do to be dedicated to helping families and children. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jean and let the learning begin.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited. I like to come to school. I like to come to school. I like to learn and play each day. I like to come to school. And I guess that's why I became a teacher, because I always loved going to school so much. And some things change, but some things don't change. And children's feelings at the beginning of the year, waiting to meet their teacher. Will my teacher like me? Will I like school? That's me many, many years ago when I was a little girl. And I had those same feelings of joy and excitement and terror, the same way children feel right now. And one of my favorite pictures of my grandson, KJ, this was about 7 years ago. I mean, that face says it all. And one of the things I wanted to mention is that I appreciate all the questions you gave us, and Carolyn and I have been working really hard trying to answer all of those, and I will include a lot of those in my presentation tonight. I also wanted to let you know, if you go to my website, drjean.org, and put Back to School in the search engine, you'll be able to see pictures of all the projects and all the descriptions and words to any of the songs I sing. Everybody's going to have to get a BA and a BS tonight. BA, borrow and adapt what I do. BS, borrow and steal what I do. And I like to tell teachers I'm kind of like a big box store when I do a workshop. Pick and choose what you like. And you might want to get a pencil and a piece of paper and write down some of your favorite ideas. Also wanted to let you know that on my blog, drjeanandfriends.blogspot.com, I have addressed many of your questions that I won't be doing tonight, but in the next 2 weeks I've got blogs written about what do you do if kids don't sing and what do you do with children who blurt out answers, so you'll be able to find that there. And then Carolyn's also written some excellent blogs that will be coming up on Happies for Teachers. And you'll be able to find more information there. So let's get started. They say children don't care. Children may forget what you said or what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so I'm going to start off talking about some ways that we can build bridges with children and with their families. And one of the best things to do with children is to use their names. They love their names. Their names are important to them. And so I always started my school year with this song, With a Little Red Box. And I just covered a tissue box, and I had all of the children's names and pictures on these little index cards. So before children read words, they read pictures. And so this is a good way to start at the beginning of the year. And I would start each morning singing this song. I wish I had a little red box to put my Michelle in. I'd take her out and go and put her back again. I wish I had a little red box to put my Bella in. I'd take her out and go and put her back again. And we would do this song with everybody's name the first couple of weeks of school. That was just how I started my day. And I've heard teachers say, well, I don't want to take them out and go, Well, you can take them out and go, give them a hug. You can take them out and go, how do you do, and shake their hand. You can take them out and give them high fives. You are the teacher. You can take these and do anything you want with them. Now, these name cards were also handy for sign-in. Big sheet of paper, or they could write on the dry erase board. And when they come, tell them it's very important that I know you're here. So find your name and write your name to let me know you're here. That will encourage them to write their name. And even if you can't write your name, just make an X, just make a mark, and that will let you know you're here. Another song that I used to sing, and somebody asked me what one of my favorite transition songs were. I Like You, There's No Doubt About It. There's just something magic about saying I like you and looking at children that they respond to. And of course I have my little eye pointer. I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. I like you, there's no doubt about it. You are my good friend. I like Troy, there's no doubt about it. I like Lisa, there's no doubt about it. I like Carolyn, there's no doubt about it. You are my good friend. Now, there is a great little chant that we used to do a long, long time ago. And let me tell you, with some of these things, I've been doing them a long, long time. But these are children who have never heard them before. I mean, they might not, it's new. It's all new for them. And so if you just get like a little cookie box, and then you can make cookies with the children's names on them, and then I have their picture on the back. Who ate the cookie from the cookie jar? Izzy ate the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be, then who? And you can use the children's names for this. You can also use the little cookies for a game if you put them on the table with the name on top. And then you give the children like a pancake spatula turner. They can turn them over, try to read their friends' names, and then confirm that that is their friend. Another way to help children feel like they are part of the classroom community is to put their pictures and their name on your unit blocks. And you can imagine them when they see their picture and their name on the block. Oh, look, I'm part of this whole group. You can also use these blocks throughout the year from app activities. Who likes pepperoni pizza? Who likes cheese pizza? Who likes this book? Who likes this book? And you can start doing some comparisons with these, or sing other little name songs. Another name activity can be done with some inexpensive paper plates. Write the children's names on paper plates and then have the class stand in a circle. Put about 4 or 5 of these at a time down on the floor and sing this song. If your name is on a plate, pick it up. If your name is on a plate, pick it up. If your name is on a plate, then you're really, really great. If your name is on a plate, pick it up. And the children find the plate with their name and pick it up and give it to you. If you have a child who doesn't know his name, you can say, Tyler, look, is that your name? Yeah, that's your name. And I tell teachers, you know, you can help children succeed with anything. We just have to work at it a little bit sometimes. Now, there are some chants that you can do that are going to help children with phonological awareness as well as oral language. And Hickety Pickety Bumblebee is one of my favorite ones. Hickety Pickety Bumblebee, who can say their name for me? Michael, clap it. Michael, whisper it. Michael, no sound. Hickety Pickety Bumblebee, who can say their name for me? Tammy. Oh, that's another two-syllable name. You got that one. But anyway, it's really good for syllabication. And then I've got this little follow-up book with the children's pictures and their name. And then it's got claps for the number of syllables in their name. So let's look at Diego. Let's clap his name. Diego. Let's clap it. Diego. So they're making print connections, they're tracking, and they're also doing some math activities when you use a little book like this and follow up with the syllables. Here is another one that I used to sing, and it's bingo. You all know bingo, and I would take all the children's names. There is a friend that we all know, and Tyler is his name. Oh, Tyler, 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 and Tyler is his name. Oh, now it was a little bit tricky on some of the names. Like, well, I'll just take a name like Tim. There is a friend that we all know, and Tim is his name. Oh, T-I-M-T. I am. Now, when you get to a long name like Elizabeth, you might want to shorten it and see if she has a nickname and try that one. But usually, you know, you can figure out how to squeeze most of the children's names in a song like that. All right. Wanted to show you my special box. And I would tell the children at the beginning of the school year, the most amazing thing in the whole wide world is in this box. It is so wonderful. There's nothing like it in the whole wide world. It's only one of its kind. And I would pass this around, and they could look in the box, and who did they see but their picture? And they just thought that was the most exciting thing in the world. And to help children feel special, I wanted to tell you a story about my granddaughter when she went to her first little dance class, and she was so shy. And at the end, I said, go tell your teacher thank you. And she came back just joyful, and I said, what did the teacher say to you? And she said, she told me I was special. Yeah, and it just was just one word. That one word just changed everything about her. And so I would encourage you during the first week of school or when the children come to register just to hold their little hands and look them in the eyes and say, you are so special. Because all children are special in different ways, This is a song I used to sing, and I don't have somebody to hold right now, but this goes to the tune of Lassie and Laddie, and this was another one that we would do at the beginning of the school year, or different times in the school year if a child was having a hard time. It was just a nice way to comfort them, and I would hold them one at a time in my lap, and I would sing like, Jason is important, important, important. Jason is important to you and to me. At work and at play, he does his best each day. Jason is important to you and to me. And then I'd hug him and say, oh, Jason, I'm so glad you're in my classroom. And you can get so much more with sugar than you can with vinegar. I remember my first time when I was doing student teaching, I was terrified. And my mother just looked at me and she said, honey, all you have to do is be nice to them and love them. And, you know, 50 years later, that's still what I tell teachers. That's the most important thing. This goes way back, too. This is fun at the beginning of the school year. Just got a little picture frame, and you probably all have an old one in your closet or a drawer. And I put bling bling on it, and I used to sing this song. I'm looking through my window. I'm looking through my window. I'm looking through my window, and I see my friend Isaac, and I would pass it, and then I'm looking through my window, and we would take turns looking through the window and passing it. Now, this is as old as the hills, but you know what? The kids have never seen it, and they eat it up. Which reminds me, we're so busy trying to give children things we didn't have, we're failing to give them what we did have. First couple weeks of school, forget all that technology. Look them in the eyes, build some relationships, sing with them, let them know how much you care. This is a little book, and it goes to the tune of The Farmer and the Dove. I sang it to you at the beginning of the workshop, and I used to sing this song at the beginning of the school year as well to start the day. I like to come to school, I like to come to school, I like to learn and play each day, I like to come to school. And last week at a workshop, a teacher said, you got to fake it till you feel it. And this song is a good example of that. You know, we sing, I like to come to school, and in school, great, and it's a happy place. Children are going to feel that way, and they're going to respond. And then I would ask the different children, why do you like to come to school? What are you looking forward to doing today? Oh, I like to sing songs. I like to sing songs. I like to sing songs. I like to come to school each day. I like to sing songs. And I would let them tell me what they liked about school. Of course, playing outside was everybody's favorite. And then we would sing it. You could also write it on a language experience chart, or you could turn it into a book like I did and let the children illustrate it. So it's another good book that you can use at school and then send home. Well, I've got some other learning activities with children's pictures, and I know a lot of you take their picture the first day of school and then run off multiple copies of it. I love this idea a teacher shared with a flannel board. She put Velcro on the back of the children's pictures and turned it into a storytelling center. So good for oral language. But what they liked most about this was her. They liked to take her and be the teacher. Get over here right now. I told you to sit down. Don't do that. And you're going to see what you sound like if you make a little puppet for yourself to go on the flannel board. This might also be a good way to have maybe like the school secretary, the principal, the music teacher, custodian, some of your different school helpers, do their pictures and let the children use those and do some oral language activities. Now, all children love puppets, and so you can make some little puppet people with their pictures, and you can use these for some of your name songs. You can also use these for working out problems. If Bella and Mikey have a problem, you can let them use their little puppets and work it out. There's something about extending something away from you that can help. I've also used children's pictures on little clothespins and with their name, and you can use these for signing into centers. Another teacher told me she kept these in like a little cookie tin, and when they did different activities, she would pull their little popsicle stick out, and clothespin out, and after they had a turn, she would clothespin it to the top of the cookie tin, and then when all the clothespins had a turn, she'd put them back in and start over again. This is a game that you can play with children's pictures. It's a memory game. And so you put two pictures, make two pictures, two cards with each child's picture. And initially they can just match them up for visual matching. But then after a while they can turn them over and try to turn over two at a time and get the matching pictures. I know you've all played that game before. The secret with this is just to start with about 4 children's pictures. That would be 8 pieces. If you start with like 40 pieces at a time, that's way too overwhelming. So just start with a few and let them master that, and then you can move on. I've got some other literacy activities, and people always say, how should you introduce letters to children? With their names. They love their names, and so these are just little Unifix cubes, and I use the little sticky dots and I put them on here so each child could have their own little name card this way. You can also make puzzles with children's names, and I've written their names on sentence strips and then cut between the letters. And I've got them in here, and so they can take out the letters and try to spell Anna's name, and then they can self-check by looking at the back. And then this one, this is a peek and tell. And so I cut the left end off an envelope. Again, wrote the children's names on sentence strips. And I'm going to pull out one letter at a time. Whose name could this be? Oh, whose name could this be? You can sound it. Ray. Whose name could it be? Ray. And pretty soon, Raymond! Yeah, that's Raymond. And so they are decoding. They're looking at one letter at a time and predicting what it might be. With something like this, too, you can have them all stand up. And I'm going to put out one letter at a time. If that's not the letter your name starts with, then you go ahead and sit down. And then the last one standing will be that person. They all love wrapper necklaces. And so if you can cut out cardboard letters and give each child the letter that their name starts with, and they can decorate it with bling bling, punch holes, tie string on it, and then you've got some wrapper necklaces that you can use when you sing your alphabet songs. And then just one more little idea with the name. This is just a file folder, and I cut the shape of a bat out of the front, and I've inserted paper, and I've written the children's names on the paper. And so you use it like this. Tasha. And so you've got that alliteration going with their name and name recognition. Now, somebody sent an email and said, what do you do with those children who are so tired the first couple of weeks of school? Well, you know what? The teachers are just as tired as the children. And so one of the best things you can do is just to stand up and sing. And any song, you know, if somebody said, what's your favorite song? Well, it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a silly mood, I like to do Silly Willy, or if I want to calm the children down, I might do Tony Chestnut Knows I Love You. But especially at the beginning of the year, Tootie Ta, Banana Dance, Cool Bear Hunt, Alligator, Peanut Butter. A lot of those chant type songs where children are moving and wiggling are really good ones to do at the beginning of the school year to get rid of all those wiggles. So let me share some books with you right now that you can use with children's names. And the first one is the Hello book. And so I started every day with this type book, and it was a lamp book. So instead of binding at the side or the top, I bound it at the bottom so I can turn the pages down very easily as we read it. So who is that, boys and girls? Yeah, that's our friend Anna. Let's say hello, Anna. Hello, Anna. Look at you reading. What do you think this says? Hello, Will. They told me you weren't supposed to be able to read when you were 4 years old, and look at you reading it. You know, they're just, oh, I'm so cool. The teacher who shared this idea originally said she made 2. And one stayed at school, and they used it every day to greet their friends. And one child got to take the other one home each evening to share with their family. So that was a nice way to let the parents know about the children in the classroom. She also said that after the first month of school, she just put this in the classroom library. And she said hardly a day went by the rest of the year that somebody over in the library wouldn't go, hello, Anna, you know, and they just got a big kick out of reading their friends' names. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the chant, brown bear, who do you see? Well, I know a lot of you have made this one. Will, who do you see? I see Angela looking at me. Angela, oh, who do you see? I see Roberto looking at me. Another easy read book that you can make. I like this idea too. Guess who? It's Jessica. And so you take a picture of the children from the back and then from the front. And then I know Carolyn does one like, whose shoes are these? And she takes a picture of the shoes, and then the child's on the next page. Now, I don't know about you, but at the beginning of the school year, the children would come up to me and go, teacher, 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 they'll drive me nuts. And they don't know your name. you have to help them learn your name. And so I have a little book, and it goes to the tune of the wheels on the bus, and it's got the name of the school and different things like, the name of my school is Montclair, Montclair, Montclair. The name of my school is Montclair. That's the name of my school. The name of my teacher is Mrs. Weaver, Mrs. Weaver. I think you've got the idea of it. The name of my principal is Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones. And you could use the school helpers in this book as well. It's important to post your daily schedule because, you know, for a child who's never been in a structured environment before, the day just seems so long. And so if you put pictures and write your daily schedule on index cards or something like this, it will help them understand how the day flows. And I like this idea. One teacher said she put magnetic tape on the front and the back, so after they did the activity, they turned it over, and the children could see how they completed the different things. She said one little girl said, "I'm ready to go home," and she said, "Well, look, we've done all these. We only have 2 more, and then you get to go home." This is another idea teacher shared was with T-shirts. She put the activities on T-shirts, and she had a clothesline at the front of the room, and they clothespin these, and then as they completed the activities, they turned them over to indicate that. And what's good about having these movable daily activities is that you can put in the specials, like if they have go to art or if they go to PE on a particular day, you can insert those. And then I also have a little book, Welcome to Montclair School. Put away your backpack and get ready for a great day. We start our day with morning meeting and a song. We talk through the calendar and learn together. And so it's just another way to show what we're going to do every day, to take pictures of the children to help them feel secure with the schedule. And I love this book for the yellow pages that you talk about, you know, different people have different gifts in our classroom, and we all are good at different things. And so you make a book with different things that you might need helpers for in the class, like we can tie shoes, we are good readers, we can sing songs, we can draw well, we can run fast, we are good cleaners, all sorts of different things, from academic things to non-academic things. We are nice friends, and the children get to sign their name as a helper, and then, like as somebody says, "Well, you tie my shoes," you well, go get the yellow pages and see if you can find a friend who can help you tie shoes in the yellow pages. So it's a good way for children to think about how they can help their fellow classmates and also to use literacy. Now, we want to get to know the children, but they want to know you. And so I've got a couple ideas to share with you. One thing that you might want to do before school starts is make a poster about yourself. Who is my teacher? And I just cut out some random pictures of me when I was a little girl and my family and my favorite food. And I've got this up so when the parents come meet the teacher that first night, they can see this. And hopefully I've got some connection with every parent with the different things on my poster. And then if you could use this with the children, let them come up and ask you questions about pictures. So instead of you just, this is all about me, let them ask you what they are interested in. Now, a follow-up to this, you might ask each family to make a poster about their child. You don't want to use big posters because there won't be any room for anything else in the classroom. But I found a file folder worked really well and was a nice size. Or you could just give them like a 9 by 12 piece of cardstock to make the poster about their children. If you do a home visit, or if you know who's going to be in your class ahead of time and you can send them a picture of yourself, that's a good thing to do. And I've just got a little brochure, just folded a piece of paper into thirds, and I would mail this to the children. Welcome to Miss Feldman's room. And it's nice that they see you. If they can see your picture, then you become familiar, and it's not so scary the first day. And I have this little letter, dear. My name is Miss Feldman, and I'm excited about being your teacher this year. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a teacher, and that's what I've been doing for over 40 years. I have a husband, a dog, 2 grown children, and 2 grandchildren. We'll have a great year learning to read and do math. We'll also have fun as we discover the world and get to know each other. I believe each child is a wonderful gift just waiting to be opened. I can't wait to meet you and see what your special gifts and talents are. I'm glad you're in my class. Love, Mrs. Feldman. Now, I mean, if somebody wrote that to my child and I read that, I go, oh, man, I love this teacher. We're going to have a great year. And so I've just got different things we're going to do during the school year. And I got that posted on my website. I also want to ask you to go to your principal before school starts. And you say to your principal, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to say yes. And your principal agrees. And then you say, I want you to give me the best and brightest children this year. And of course, the principal will say yes. And then that first day of school, you can tell them, you are the best and brightest children. You know, I asked the principal to give me the best and brightest children this year, and that's you. And you won't be lying. So that's a good thing to do. Another good way to connect with parents is to give them an envelope and say, please write me a letter about your child. Include siblings, pets, likes, dislikes, and other special information to help me get to know your child. What are your goals and expectations for this year? Now, do you see how easy this is? Everybody listening to this webinar should do this. All you have to do is give them an envelope and ask them to write a letter about their child. You are going to get such wonderful information about that child. And not only that, can you imagine how the parent's going to feel? I mean, that teacher cares enough about my child to want to know more about my child. I didn't think of this, but I think it's one of the most beautiful things that you can do. I also have a little note that you can send home to parents. The first day, you put a tea bag and a cotton ball in here, and then you write this note. Dear parents, thank you for entrusting your child to me. I promise to do my best every day to be your child's companion in learning. Sit down, relax, and have a cup of tea. Hold the cotton ball in your hand to remind you of the gentle spirit of your child. I know we will have a wonderful year as we learn and grow together. Sincerely, in your name. And, you know, during the year, there are going to be troubles with most of your parents. There's just, you know, that just happens. That happens in any relationship. And so if you do these positive things at the beginning of the school year, you've got something to pull from when things aren't always going right at school. I also have this little welcome kit idea that you can give to the children at the beginning of the school year. And you might have to adapt this for the age level. Some of you might not want to put a Hershey's Kiss in here or whatever, but you can adapt this. But this is what it says. Welcome to your classroom. Each item in this bag has a special meaning for you. The cotton ball is to remind you that this room is full of kind words and warm feelings. The chocolate kiss is to remind you that I care about you. The sticker is to remind you that we all need to stick together and help each other. The rubber band is to remind you to hug someone. The penny is to remind you that you're valuable and special. The tissue is to remind you to help dry someone's tears. The star is to remind you to shine and always try your best. The bandage is to remind you to heal hurt feelings in your friends and yourself. The gold thread is to remind you that friendship ties our hearts together. The eraser is to remind you that everyone makes mistakes and that is okay. The lifesaver is to remind you that you can always come to me if you need someone to help. With love and your name. So here again, just get a little zip bag and collect those things and stick whatever you want in here and give it to the children the first day. And that's another way to build a positive bridge with the parents. And, you know, sometimes you have to care for the parents as much at the beginning of the school year as you do the children. So one school told me they had a boohoo breakfast. So after the children went to their classroom, they invited the parents. The PTA organization did that to the library, and they had donuts or whatever and gave each parent a little thing of tissues. And parents are very vulnerable right then to sign up for things and to volunteer. So that's a great day to get them involved with things. Another idea that you can use to get parents involved, I love it. This is the brown bag special. And y'all, let me tell you something. I don't think of these things. Teachers share these ideas with me. And when I was in high school, they used to call me the mouth of the South. Tell Jean, she'll tell the whole school. Well, that's just what I've been doing with teachers for about 47 years now. So give me a good idea and I'll pass it on. But there's some parents, because of transportation issues, or they work, or they have younger children, they can't come to school and volunteer. Doesn't mean they don't want to do something. And so you say, if you can't come in and volunteer, I have a special opportunity for you. It's called the brown bag special. And so you get a brown grocery bag, and let's say you want some teddy bears cut out. Well, you put the paper in here and you put the pattern and send it home with a child, and that parent can cut out the teddy bears and send them back. So it makes the parent feel special, it makes the child feel special, and it's a good way to get some work done. If you have parents with resources, then they're the ones you ask to be a web parent volunteer and go to the internet and download things for you. That's a good way to get some of your things downloaded. And then one other idea to get some parent involvement, I have these little helping hands. And so what you do is you cut out hands, and I know some parents can't have the resources to help you, give you things like a dustbuster or a rug, or you can name whatever you want, and other parents don't have that resource available to them, but they still want to help. And so if you cut out these little hands and write the different school supplies that you might need, and put them on your door and just say, these are helping hands. If any of you would like to grab a hand or two and send those materials to the classroom, I know I would appreciate it, and the children will enjoy using those materials. So it's a way to add some resources to your classroom that you might have, and help the fellowship parents get involved a little bit more. And I know some of you are just busy right now trying to set up your classrooms and get them all cleaned up. And if you are just overwhelmed, I'll tell you a great idea. Teacher said she got the yellow caution tape and she wrapped it all around her door and said, dear parents, when you look in our classroom, you're not going to see very much right now. That's because I'm trying to create a community of learners and a classroom family. And I'm going to invite your children to help me decorate their classroom, because it is their classroom. And so during that first week, invite them, please come back next week and see what all we've done. And all week long, you can get the children to draw pictures and make some of the different things I'm going to show you, and let them help you decorate the classroom this year. Over the door to your classroom, you might want to write this. Through this door walk the world's greatest students. I also like this thought. Pre-K teachers. Pre-K, the happiest place on earth. And it should be. Or if you're a kindergarten teacher, kindergarten, the happiest place on earth. Or if you're a first grade teacher, first grade, the happiest place on earth. I saw this on a door when I went to a school many years ago. What the teacher had done is she'd laid on the butcher paper and had somebody trace around her, and I know you all do that with your children, most of you do, and she made herself. And the great thing about this is you can body sculpt, so you can have whatever figure you want. And then she took sentence strips and labeled the different things on her, like Mrs. Jones has a head full of ideas, a mouth to sing you songs, arms for hugging, hands to help you learn new things, pockets to hold surprises, play shoes for having fun, and a heart full of love for you. And when I saw this on that door, I went, man, that's my kind of teacher. That just says it all, what a real person you are to those children. Now, some other ideas for decorating your classroom. A teacher emailed me this idea. Okay, so she went you can go to Walmart, Kmart, Hobby Lobby, any of those stores, and she got some canvas, some artist canvas, and comes in all sorts of sizes and prices, but this is like an 8 by 10, and this is a very inexpensive one. And she sent these home with the children, and for the younger children, she gave them a color. So she had red up here and Rojo down there. So labels are a great way if you have a dual language classroom. And then she let the parents decorate it. So the children had different colors, and then with their parents, they decorated this, and then they had their color chart in the room. And you could also do this with alphabet letters, couldn't you? That you could write the letter on here and let each child take home a letter and decorate it with environmental print and real objects and different things. You'd have a really cool, meaningful alphabet for your classroom. Another idea is this one, just the class quilt. So you could let children individually draw their pictures, or you could send home a square and let each family decorate at the square, punch holes in the corner, time together. And this makes a great hanging out in the hall or in your classroom. The chain, friendship chain, you give each child a strip of paper and they decorate it, and then one at a time they bring their papers up and you staple them together until you have a friendship chain. And then you talk about what happens if one of the chains breaks. The whole chain falls apart, and that's why we have to hold hands and stick together, and everybody's got to do their part. This is a little house, and this makes another good, quick, easy bulletin board. You can have the children write their name on the front, and they can draw their family inside. You could put a family picture in there. You could put the child's name and their address, and you could draw, like, you know, the school and streets and trees and a mural of your community, and then you could hang these up to get there. Lots of things to do with that. Now, I'll show you quickly how to make a house book. Fold a hot dog, open it up, bring the corners down to the middle, and then if you fold up the bottom, you have a house book. One of the questions that came in was, how do you help parents understand the value of play? And so I have this little book that I wrote, and I also use these as center signs in my classroom, because people would come in the classroom and say, oh, look, they're having so much fun playing. Well, you know, we work really hard to turn that play into meaningful work and a learning opportunity. And so like this, at the housekeeping, I had a sign, and it said, it looks like I'm playing, but I'm developing social skills, emotional skills, independence, oral language, my imagination, responsibility, and the executive function. I may use these skills as a mother, father, safety officer, or politician one day. In the block center, it looks like I'm playing, but I'm developing motor skills, math concepts, number, size, shape, space, oral language, social skills, eye-hand coordination, self-control, and my imagination. I may be a builder or architect when I'm grown. And so by having these center signs, if some adult came in the room, parent, administrator, whatever, I would invite them, why don't you go around the room and look at what the children are actually learning as they play with their friends in the different centers. I've also use this backpack poem, and I'll show you how to make this little backpack. And this is another good thing to do at the beginning of the school year. If the children come from Meet the Teacher Night, or they come to register, or if you do a home visit, you can do this. And many of these things can be adapted to any age level. So you just take the lunch bag, and you'll have to do this part ahead of time. You'll have to go ahead and punch the holes, punch 2 holes at the top of the lunch bag, and it's actually the bottom of the lunch bag, but I'm calling it the top for this activity. Punch 2 holes. Once the holes are punched, you give children a pipe cleaner. They take the pipe cleaner, they can put it in the holes and twist it. You write their name on it, or they can write their name, and then if you lift this flap, lift it up, and take the bottom and tuck it all the way up there, increase it, and put it down like that, you will have what I call a little backpack. And the children can decorate it, and then ask them to bring in a family photo the first day of school. So can you see them walking in the first day with their little backpack with their family photo? Every child needs a picture of their family at school, and you also need a picture of your class at home to encourage children to talk about what they do at school and the friends they play with. And so this is a great idea for your classroom, but you can also use this to put the backpack poem in that I will share with you now. And you will find the backpack poem. Just go to my blog and write backpack poem, or go to my website, write backpack poem. It will pop up. So I'd like to share this with parents at the first meeting. What's in your backpack? It's empty today. Where's your work? Did you just play? When I built with blocks, I learned about shapes. I balanced and shared. Our skyscraper was great. I played in the windy house and talked with my friends. I rocked a baby and played pretend. In science, I observed, guessed, and experimented too. The same things grown-up scientists do. Art was messy. I created and explored. I solved my own problems when I spilled glue on the floor. My fingers got a workout with puzzles and clay. Those same small muscles will help me write one day. I counted and sorted and measured too. I used my brain like a math whiz would do. Out on the playground, I ran like the wind, played circle kickball, and helped a hurt friend. Story time is what I always like best. I can use my imagination and give my body a rest. I sang and danced, learned a finger play too. I answered questions and said please and thank you. There will be time for worksheets and tests, but talking and playing is how I learn best. I love to go to school. I'm glad I'm me. An empty backpack means I'm learning, you see. And so, yes, we do need technology, but we have to balance it with hands-on active learning. Children have one chance in a lifetime to be 4 or 5 or 6. And I love what Jim Trelease said. He said, the primary purpose of being 4 is to enjoy being 4. A secondary purpose is to prepare for being 5. The primary purpose of being in kindergarten is to enjoy being in kindergarten. A secondary purpose is to prepare for first grade. And I wonder what the longitudinal effects of all the academic shoving and pushing really are. I mean, I didn't learn to read until I was in first grade. I was 6 years, 6 months old before I learned to read. And guess what? I can read. I can do it. I really can. Just a few more ideas, and then it'll be time for me to finish. I would encourage each of you to make a teacher emergency toolkit. Those first couple days of school are so long. I'm telling you, school started my first year at 8:30, and by 9:15, I had done everything in the lesson plans and everything I learned in college. And so if you do an emergency toolkit, you can put puppets in here. You can put some of your favorite books. You can put bubbles. You can put a little soft ball that you can play a little catch with. Of course, you need some Dr. Jean CDs. But best of all, those of you, the first 1,000 who registered tonight, you're going to get the free Back to School Happies. And somebody said, why would you and Carolyn give away 1,000 of these free? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we think that you are going to have so much fun, and it's going to make such a change in your life that you're going to want to buy one every month the rest of the year. What this represents is the best of over 60 years that Carolyn and I have been in education. Each month there are 15 songs. There are over 100 pages with books that you can download, and games, and QR codes with me doing finger plays and handshakes and cheers, and I'm telling everything that Caroline and I know. You will find, oh, there's my timer going off. That means I'm supposed to quit. I'll stop in just a minute. That you will find in here. And I hope those of you that get this free packet, I hope it's just going to make your school year, the first month, just the very best month you've ever had. There are brain breaks. There's videos that you can see. There are things that you can run off. There's just everything we know is in here. And I have to say thank you to Carolyn right now, because she is the smart one in the group. So if you don't know Carolyn, this is Carolyn. Mrs. Jane, and we got together and we made these little happies for you. And the term happies came about when somebody came into one of my workshops one day with a cup of coffee from my favorite coffee shop. And I said, don't you just love it? And she said, yeah, it's my happy. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, you know, every day is not totally happy, but what you have to do is you have to do something happy for yourself every day, something nice just for you. And, you know, we thought about this. And you teachers, you have such a heavy burden right now. It is not easy. Parents are more demanding. Children come with a lot more issues, and the curriculum and all the things you have to do. And we thought, you know, we've got to do something. We've got to do something to make it a little bit happier. And so, you know, we can't change everything in the world, but what we can do is we can give you something special, something every day. A song to sing, a cheer to do, a story to tell, a game, something special every day to make your year better than ever. So thank you so much for joining me. May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be teachers as special as you. I hope I've reminded you how much fun it is to be a teacher, and I hope you're a little bit more excited to start the year, because you know what? There's some little kids out there who are just so excited about meeting you. So take care. God bless. Thanks for joining me. Rochelle, I'll turn it over to you now.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Jean. That was so heartwarming, and it just makes me so proud to be a teacher. So thank you very much for being with us today. Now, for those who can hear my voice, you are in the running for the ESGI subscriptions. We have 5 licenses that we're going to give away right now. If we call your name, please just say something in the chat window so we make sure that you're here, and we will be emailing you your instructions on how to redeem your free year. So those winners are, Dr. Jean, do you want to make a drum roll?
A drum roll and a Beethoven, ta 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 ta, and a tootaroo, toot doo 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 doo.
Awesome. First winner, Wendy Radke. Wendy Radke. Vicky Francisco. Vicky Francisco. Kathy Hammett. Kathy Hammett. Michelle Murphy. Michelle Murphy. And Siobhan Bettler. Yay! The winners, please just say something in the chat. We are so happy that Dr. Jean and Carolyn got to join us today. Thanks so much for presenting this great information. I feel so inspired to start the school year. Now, don't forget to follow Dr. Jean at her blog, where she's going to be answering specific questions that you asked today. And don't forget to check your email in the next 2 days to find your certificate of participation, a link to this recording, and the Happies Back to School packet. Also, bonus, if you're an ESGI subscriber, check out the assessments aligned to the Happies packets, which are found in the Test Explorer. This is the start of our celebrity webinar series, so please tune in to other celebrity webinars that ESGI is hosting every month. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful back to school. Thanks again, Dr. Jean. Bye-bye, everybody.